Hello, everybody. Hello. So this is our brand, and there in the bottom you can see that we're saying that we're transmedia storytelling since 3000 before Christ. That's something really important we want to bring here because storytelling is 5,000 years old. So digital is only helping it to be to achieve its plenitude. So let's talk a little about what we have been doing. So I'd like to thank Charlie and C-Squared to be here and finding golden content through storytelling and spreadable media. Okay? So before I start talking about it, everybody's asking me if I'm partner of Paulo Coelho, the writer. I would love to, but I'm not. Everybody knows the book, The Alchemists, but there's no relation to the book, and you understand why. This is Paulo Coelho. That's why we would love to be partnering with him. I would love to have him as a partner. He wrote this book a long time ago, and it's already 35 million copies in 74 countries. So we are not related to him, but it shows the importance of storytelling. But this is the book that really inspired our company to be developed. We have spent 2 years researching till we open it, and this is Henry Jenkins from MIT, who is considered the McLuhan of the 21st century. He's been developing great studies on media, and he invented the term transmedia storytelling. He made this enormous study about storytelling on the Convergence Culture environment. So the first alchemy we have in our company, it was between Cambridge, Rio, and LA, where me and my partner, we met at MIT for this event in 2007, and we had it last year called Futures of Entertainment, which is an amazing forum that everybody, if you have the opportunity, you should go. So we met there through Henry in Cambridge. And then this is Mark Warshaw, who is my partner, and he used to be the former transmedia director for Heroes. He led the team who won the Emmy in 2008 for outstanding interactive media programming. He's a very, he's even considered one of the fathers of interactive television because he showed how TV, which everybody is saying that's dying and it's passive, how TV, analog TV can be interactive and be well used with brands. So, and there comes Hollywood, where we have an office, and that's the second element. Then just a little bit of my CV. I come from a long background with education and innovation development. A long time ago, 14 years ago, I invented a game, a storytelling game of software that now is in 4,000 schools all over Brazil and is used by the UN, by many other companies, how you can see there. So I've been working with storytelling for a long time. So that's why we mixed transmedia with storytelling. He's the interactive partner, and I do the storytelling development. And then there is Rio. And we have not a lot, but we have 4 patron saints in our company who inspired us to open it. Of course, St. George is one of them. And we found that St. George, we found St. George in 98 different cultures. So that was a good proof for us to keep it as our brand. But I want to talk specifically about a very important saint for us, which is Sherazade. I don't know if everybody knows her. She is the main character of the Arabian Nights. She spent 1,001 nights pitching to her husband, telling stories to avoid to be killed, because every night she was telling amazing stories and he was delaying to kill her, and she saved a lot of lives just by using stories. And we made a research that there are probably 30 IPs, intellectual properties, that came from Arabian Nights that made billions in revenues for big studios like Disney, Universal. So she's very important for us as a symbol of what we want to achieve for brands and networks. And now I'm going to share with you some of our beliefs. The first one is media and storytelling have been friends for centuries. It's very important for us to have these. I think that we are very addicted, looking for innovation all the time, the next amazing tool to show to our clients or to engage with people. But media and storytelling, they have been doing a great job together. And this is a very important quote that talks about not forgetting that there are many things we already know, that we already have in our repertoire, that we just need to change the perspective. Okay, talking about IPs and media. Thank you, Paul, for bringing the intellectual property, because a lot of people think it's internet protocol, but it's not. It's a very important issue. It's a very important theme that is going to be the next 2 years. It's going to be evolving more and more. This one here, the first guy, his name is Assis Chateaubriand. He was the first media mogul in Brazil. He was a pioneer, and he had many newspapers and radios, and he had this specific newspaper who was really selling really bad. Only 6,000 readers per day were buying the newspaper. And then he came to this guy in the middle, Nelson Rodrigues, who is considered the Brazilian Shakespeare. It was in the 40s. We're not talking about 21st century. We're talking about the middle of the 20s. And then he came to Nelson and said, Nelson, I have this big problem with this newspaper, and I need you to help me to make it sell more. And then Nelson, who already worked for 5 of his newspapers, writing sports articles and chronicles about politics, he invented a character called Susanna Flagg, which was a beautiful blonde woman with 42 years old, so he invented a love consultancy on the newspaper. So everybody would send their doubts, would send their dreams and their fears, the stories of being hurt by the lover. And then the name of the column was the Slaves of Love. So very corny, but it was very strong. So, and of course, he invented a lot of those stories. And 1 week after it was released, it sold 60,000 newspapers every day for years. And it was read by everybody, poor people, rich people, everybody in Rio was reading it. And now Nelson Rodrigues has 50 different IPs. It's a really big brand in Brazil. Another belief is the end of the black box fallacy. It's a really strong belief we have, and it was also inspired by Henry, that convergence happens through people. It's not the platforms who convert. People that decide where they want to go. They decide where they want to have their entertainment, to have their stories. So we have these, I think that many people in the industry, they think it's all about putting all together in one device. It will never happen because people like to have different stories in different platforms. So we're talking about different narratives for the same brand or IP. It's about I choose. What is that? Transmedia storytelling is about that. It's about developing a whole strategy for narratives or for a brand or for an IP. And then the user or the spectator, they will choose where they want to have. They have the menu and then you have the story. But you have a different story for every platform. And the huge case Mark developed it was for Heroes. Before that, he was in Smallville, just like you saw on the CV. And he developed it with his team, 27 different stories delivery channels. People would have 27 different stories on mobile or on the internet or through comic books, and they were parallel to the broadcast. It was daily updated, and after 11 months, it corresponded to 25% of the whole NBC.com audience. And they have 43 shows. Only Heroes, by developing the transmedia strategy, got 25% of the audience. So it's amazing, and it was evaluated in $50 million worth after all the deals they closed. A great case is the Nissan Versa case. They developed a whole environment for Nissan on the broadcast and on the comics. And the comics, because of Nissan sponsorship, became the most read novel in the history of comic books. It's really huge. And showing the importance of the convergence culture environment, the opposite happened. The comic book that was virtual became so big that DC Comics bought the IP and put it and printed. And it's a bestseller. It's still a bestseller. Okay, just like I said 2 minutes ago, forgetting a little about the NSO, that's next shiny objects. That is Second Life, mobile widgets. We're always looking for the next shiny objects. And that, just like I said a few slides before, that makes us blind of the great opportunities that we have into platforms that we already have a consistent narrative development, like TV. And this is an amazing quote from Stacy Lynn Schulman. I met at MIT. She's an amazing woman. She has a great division, intelligence division at Turner. And it isn't about the reach of one distribution mechanism, but the aggregation of all the variance sums. So it's really rich. When I read that, when I watched her speaking about it, it's all about, I think Paul said something really good. It's about you have you have a large audience in any platform you want. You just need to wrap them up and make good numbers. The third belief is brands are studios now. We are already developing cases. I think that Babs brought amazing examples of how brands are getting even more powerful. What they did in China was amazing. In the jury, everybody was very excited about the idea. So what are the alchemical elements that allow us to say that brands are studios now? The thing is, when you have talents, and when you have resources, you have marketing, and you have distribution, you're a studio. That's what studios have been doing for decades. But now, brands have it. They have it all. The resources are the marketing teams, the media teams, the agencies. The resources are, it's a commodity. Resources on the entertainment industry and content industry, they are all resources. Marketing and distribution. Even on their supply chain. There are brands developing amazing things using their supply chain to deliver content. The fourth, the future of advertising and entertainment relies on R&D. It's a strong belief we have, and I think Chuck brought the word risk really strongly, but we like to say that R&D, it's not only research and development. We like to say in our company that it's about risk and detachment too. Sometimes we have to be detached of the short-term developments or achievements that we have. So sometimes you have to really risk and let it happen. And storytelling is all about that. Because we never know if it's going to be successful or not. And talking about R&D, storytelling is 5,000 years of focus group and product development. They can't be wrong. The storytellers can't be wrong. They have been doing this for 5,000 years. From caves to campfires, through internet, through mobile. So there might be something good there.